Ashton TV, joined by manager Steve Cunningham after defeat at Prescott Cable. Steve, thoughts on that one?
Tough one to take, conceding in the last 5 minutes of a game. But we know how that feels because we obviously did it to Macclesfield, didn't we, a couple of games back. So disappointed in the result. I mean, I'm not disappointed in the performance. I mean, you could see two teams there. I mean, the groundsman, he's on it now with his pitchfork there, but we did a great job. When you first walk through the gate, pitch looks really well, but when you can see it now where we are, it's not conducive to good football. And I think Prescott on the day probably won the ugly side of the game better than we did. So from that aspect, I don't really have any arguments. I think it was always going to be, when you saw the first 10 minutes, the way that the game panned out, we'd volley it one way, they'd volley it the other. Mm-hmm. We'd volley it one, they'd volley it with the other. There was no pattern of play, there was no football play whatsoever, was there? So I think it was always going to take one lapse in concentration on a mistake. And that's how it probably panned out. So listen, the boys have been unbelievable for us, haven't they? That's our second loss in 13 games or something like that. So disappointed to lose, but at the same point, I don't think we played badly. I just think that the pitch and the conditions didn't allow us to play any real flow in football that we do play, and but same for them as well. But like I said, I've no argument with the result. I mean, we've come short against a team that are fighting for their lives down there at the moment. They've took 6 points off us now as well, which their fans made it very known to me there. And I don't mind a bit of banter, to be fair. There's some good people here at Prescott, and listen, Steve's a cracking guy with his bench as well, and we swap details about other games and other teams that we're playing against. So I have no bitterness towards them. I would say the only negative for me is the sending off. One, because it's probably just changed that little moment, because we've obviously gone into it a little bit, and I know you'll ask me, but yeah. I just think that's the only negative of the game.
Well, I was going to say that the sending off did change the game. You felt it around the ground. The Cables fans got back involved in the game.
I didn't know they were here to start off with, because I thought it was honestly, the game was so poor. There's a very, is it ferocious, is that the word?
Ferocious.
Ferocious crowd here. And behind the dugouts, they don't half give it you, like genuinely give it you. And I've had it ever since I was Cotton manager. But there's some good people, and it's always good jest. But they were very quiet, because I think the tempo of the game was poor, the quality of the game was poor. There was no real end to end. I don't think their keepers made. I think Daz has had one volley.
Daz has had a volley, which is a good save, and then you've got the one at the end from either Tom or Daz.
Yeah, so he's had 2 saves to make all game, and Jordan hasn't done nothing except come and collect crosses. So when you look at it that way, you sort of go, we've kept them quiet, red card happens, and all of a sudden, flipper heck, there's 800, 900 people here. But then they've got the wind up, and they've took advantage of that. It's a great finish from the lad. They've put the ball in the box, it's bounced either side of 2 players. I'd have to look back at it if it's poor defending. But he's finished it really well, so I have no argument with that. But the sending off, I've got to be honest, I think it's really poor from the referee. I think he was waiting to do something, because there was just nothing in the game. But yeah, he was picky and stuff like that. But listen, the ref hasn't cost us the game, because we've got to defend the goal better when I see it. But it did change it, because they've scored from that action. So it's a deliberate foul from Callum.
Yeah,
100% it's a foul. It's a yellow card, because if you look at the one that Louis White did in the first half, it was exactly the same as Callum Rowe. So I need to look back at that and go, is there any difference in the two? Well, if there's not, why is he not then red carded Louis? So there's got to be a bit of consistency. And everyone around us, no. Well, anyone who's from Ashton United will say it's not. They're going to say it's vicious and a deliberate send-off. But
I must say that there's fans around us in the stand that turned around straight away and said, that is not a red card.
Yeah.
There's no malice. It's a trip. 50 yards from goal.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going nowhere. He's going out right towards their dugout. So, listen, I need to look back at it and see the referee about it and get his explanation. On the pitch, he sort of said it was a deliberate, but yeah, it is deliberate. Of course it is. You see professional fouls like that every day of the week in the Premier League all the way down. But to get a red card for it, like I said, I think he was waiting to do that. But like I said, I'm not taking that away from the result for Prescott Cables, because they're down there. You could see what it meant to them. The way they celebrated, fantastic. Honestly, and I love non-league football. As daft as it sounds, I actually smiled about it. I've got a load of fans giving me a load of grief by my dugout. I don't mind that. I can appreciate that. I know what it feels like. So, no, listen, we wish Prescott all the very best. We hope that they, keep winning games of football, and that this is a tough place to come. By the way, they drew with Macclesfield, and Maxfield conceded 2 here. Worksop came here, conceded 2. Ilkeston have been here. Hyde conceded 2 here. This is a tough place to come, and up until the 87th minute we hadn't conceded. So I generally thought if we can take a 0-0 here, you take it, go and have a pint in there, and then we move on to Tuesday. Lo and behold, we've lost the game. But I've just said to the players in there, and I don't want our fans to think that we're just, blasé about this, and no disrespect to Prescott, but the run that we've been on, we were going to lose a game of football sooner or later. So what we've said is we've had a laugh in there, we'll just chalk it off. We haven't played poorly, we genuinely haven't, it was just a poor game of football. But we've got a game on Tuesday now where we can go to Mikulova. I think they're losing to Blythe, as well.
They were last chat, yeah, still going on.
They'll be hurting a little bit if that is a result. So we've gone there on a Tuesday, on the Saturday before, and we were 3-0 up on 60 odd minutes. So we know what we're expecting, but we've got to go there and do it again. Now there's no better game now for us to go to, and certainly not revenge or anything like that, but just to get back on a run. All the results I think have pretty much gone our way as well. I think Macclesfield's probably out of reach now for me, because I keep saying we're going to catch him, so Robbie will be smiling after this interview. So well done, Robbie. But no, listen, it's one of them. We'll lick our wounds. I want to thank all our fans who have made the trip over. Hopefully they'll come up in numbers again, because they've been to Blythe on Tuesday, they've come here today, we're at Mikulova on Tuesday again. A lot of commitment from our fan base, so a big thank you, because I thought they were excellent, contributed to a good atmosphere around the ground, and today we've just come short. Small margins, we've been beat, but the run we've been on, I think the lads deserve a lot of credit. So let's roll our sleeves up and go again on Tuesday.